Chapter 6, Step 3, Systems of Support. Put a good person in a bad system, and the system will win every time. W. Edwards Deming. Think about your house. What is your house really? At its core, your house consists of two things: structure and systems. Your house's structure is its particular style, Cape, Ranch, Victorian, etc., and includes how its individual parts are arranged, number of rooms, sizes of the rooms, where they're placed, and so on. Your house's structure is its parts. Secondly, your house consists of systems. Systems make your house's parts serve a function. Your house's systems include electric, heating, ventilation, plumbing, and so forth. These systems give you a space in which you can live comfortably. That is the function of a house. If your house's systems don't work properly, you've got a building sitting there that's not much fun to live in. When is the only time you ever think about the systems in your house? Exactly, when they break. You only think about a system in your house when it's not working. The only time you ever think about your plumbing is when your drain gets stopped up. You never think about electricity until you go to turn on a light and nothing happens. Think about your body. Your body is like a house because your body is also composed of structure and systems. The structure is your basic makeup, male or female, tall or short, and your individual features and genetic characteristics. Then you have systems. The function of your body's systems is for you to remain alive. Your body contains dozens of interdependent systems: circulatory, muscular, skeletal, nervous, respiratory, immune, plumbing. When do you ever think about these systems? You got it, when they break. You never think about your respiratory system unless you suddenly can't breathe, or your digestive system until you're in the doctor's office saying, "Gee, maybe I shouldn't have eaten those 15 chocolate donuts." As you can see, if your house's or body's systems aren't working at optimum levels, you have a bunch of parts that don't serve the function you want. Well, it's the same with your life and your business. Your life and your business also consist of structure and systems, but here's where we run into the two things missing from most people's lives and businesses. 1. Most people have no idea what the systems of their lives and businesses are, and 2. Almost no one knows how to fix these systems when they're broken. Most people are doing something like this: "Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I've got too much to do in too little time. I'm broke. I've got no money. I'm overweight. What am I going to do?" What is the function of your life, of your business? Most people have never asked these simple but essential questions. In fact, they don't even know what the question is, let alone how to answer it. After working with tens of thousands of grateful students, I've come to realize something both profound and simple. I'm not trying to tell you the meaning of life, but it seems that the highest function of an individual's life is to live in the manner in which you choose. That means to be able to choose the life you really want. And the function of a business? The essential function of a business is to provide value to a set of human beings and realize a profit from that activity. As you can see from the two descriptions, many people are not living what could be called an optimal life, and most businesses are certainly not functioning at optimal levels. Most people have a vague sense of this and are running around trying to fix the problem. But if you were having a plumbing problem in your house or body and kept calling an electrician, how successful would that operation be? Take a deep breath. You can stop running around now. That's because after working with countless students in my mentoring programs and studying the world's happy, successful people, I've identified the 5 essential systems that you need to be operating properly to have a life and a business that perform the functions you want. The 5 essential systems of support. System 1 is your people system. System 2 is your activity system. System 3 is your environment system. System 4 is your introspection system. System 5 is your simplify system. People, activities, environment, introspection, and simplify. Those are the 5 systems of support in your life and in your business or career. You'll notice as we discuss each one that the same systems that need to be working properly in your life also need to be working properly in your business. This is handy because it means we can study the exact same systems for both. I don't care what business you're in or whether you're an entrepreneur or work for someone else. The systems are the same. I have consulted for scores of different industries, worked with tens of thousands of people in my seminars, and studied firsthand countless mega successful individuals. It simply doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or what business you're in. The systems are the same. That means, however, that if one of these 5 essential systems is not working properly in your life or your business, not only will your income suffer, but your peace of mind, health, well-being, and relationships will also suffer. You may notice this as a vague sense of something's wrong, but you may have been unable to pinpoint exactly what it is. As we go through each system, you'll see not only what's wrong, but precisely how to fix it. Practice makes. The pain and confusion of something's wrong, but I don't know what it is, can be avoided when you know what the systems are, and then take steps to make them work at higher and more effective levels. Remember, this is a course of action, but it's also a process. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes progress. The word progress comes from the Latin progredi, which means to step forward. Life is not about being perfect. It's about having the courage to move forward one step at a time. Before we start, I want you to do something for me right now. Take a deep breath. Now one more deep breath. As you're reading these words, become aware of your heartbeat. Sit quietly for a moment. Can you feel your heartbeat? Put your finger on your throat where you get a strong pulse, or just feel your heartbeat inside your body. Breathe. Now, when was the last time you thought about your heart beating? Seriously, when was the last time you thought about that? I bet you've almost never thought about it unless you had a heart attack or some kind of chest pain. When was the last time you thought about the fact that you digest food? Have you ever thought about that? Every day, 3 times a day or more, we put a bunch of stuff in our mouths, but what happens once it's in there? We live, breathe, eat, walk around, work, play, jog, and do whatever we want. And we never think about these incredible systems that are right here in our amazing body, this singular temple. Stop dissing your systems. Instead of cherishing this amazing gift of our body, most of us ignore it, abuse it, or beat ourselves up about it. I'm too fat. I can't lose 20 pounds. I wish I had more hair on my head and not everywhere else. I wish I looked 10 years younger. We're constantly beating up this miraculous body temple we have. I want you to realize that there are so many systems functioning in our bodies that we never even think about. In fact, we totally disrespect them. Next time you eat, try to force yourself to digest your food. If you had to sit there and make your body digest food, you'd starve to death. Try to make your heart beat. You can't. It just happens. These systems are working on their own, whether or not you are aware of them. It's the same in our lives and businesses. The 5 essential systems of support operate whether we like it, whether we ignore them, or whether we abuse them. Of course, it's the same with our lovely little planet. Only now we are beginning to realize how much damage we've inflicted to the precious and surprisingly fragile systems of Earth. That's why we must act now if we want them to continue to function properly and support a life that's livable for all of us. The 3%ers tend to have systems that function beautifully in their lives and businesses. But here's the maddening thing. They usually don't know what they did. Nevertheless, their systems are functioning at or near optimal levels. Once you learn what the systems are and how to make them work properly, you can do what they do too. You may be thinking that nothing is working in your life right now, but as we go through the 5 essential systems, you may be pleasantly surprised to see that more is going right in your life than is going wrong. Then you can simply take the actions suggested here to fix what's wrong and strengthen what's right. Your people system. We start with the people system. Why is the people system the most essential system of support? Because if your people system is not operating properly, nothing else matters. You simply won't succeed to your full potential without installing your people system at its optimal level. Why? Why? Well, there are many reasons, but the bottom line is this: because people have all the money. If you're trying to form a career or build a business and humans aren't buying your stuff, I'm not exactly sure how you're going to make money. As far as we know, dolphins, monkeys, and gorillas are not carrying credit cards. And my name is Noah, so I should know these things. $20 bills tend to not walk down the street, knock on your door and say, "Hey, can I come in?" If they do, where you live, I want to live where you live. On the planet Earth, money comes attached to these strange things called human beings, and we have to do that annoying thing called work to have money be transferred from their wallet to yours. Therefore, if you want to have more of the thing called money, you'd better install your people system. The 5 A's of your people system. There are 5 actions that all happen to start with the letter A that you must master to properly install your people system. The 5 A's of your people system are: 1. Acknowledge. 2. Ask. 3. Accept. 4. Accountability. 5. Affirm. People system first A equals acknowledge. The first A of your people system is acknowledge. Why is that the first A of your people system? Because human beings, those weird things with all the money, are starving for attention, appreciation, recognition, and acknowledgement. Research has shown that people will do more for acknowledgement than for money. Who would you rather work for? Someone who pays you $1 million a year but demeans, embarrasses, and humiliates you? Or someone who pays you $100,000 a year but who praises, acknowledges, and appreciates you? Sure, you might work for the first boss for a while, but you'd look at that paycheck every month and ask yourself, is this really worth it? We humans are strange creatures. We think we want money, and we do, but many people are shackled by the golden handcuffs and stuck in high-paying, low-fulfilling jobs. There are dozens of ways to acknowledge the people in your life, at work and at home. What it really comes down to, though, is your willingness to do so. That's because every one of us is wearing an indivisible sign that says, "Please make me feel important." The problem is, you have that sign too. That's why everyone is waiting for someone else to make them feel important first, before they're willing to do it for others. If you can be that one person in a million, and this number is pretty accurate, who acknowledges other people first, you are on your way to optimally installing your people system. People system second A equals ask. Imagine that you and I are in a big room with hundreds of other secret code of success students. gather together to study these principles. Of course, this is exactly what happens in our seminars, so it's not too difficult to imagine. Would you find it difficult to ask the people in this room for support? Would you feel embarrassed, shy, or hesitant to ask people for the support you need? When I ask my seminar audiences if they find it hard to ask for the support they need, even from people that they know, more than 70% say yes. Why are we so afraid to ask? It all comes down to a four-lettered word starting with F. That word is, of course, fear. What word were you thinking about? What causes the fear of asking? It's really the fear of rejection. It's the fear that the other person might say no, the fear that someone might laugh at us or make fun of us. This fear may stem from when we were told, "Shut up, go away, and don't bother me." Maybe not in so many words, but we got the point. Many of us have that background where we were essentially told to go away. We took that with us as adults, and we continue to believe that's how life is. I invite you to notice that the very successful people do not have a problem asking. You've heard that the best salespeople keep asking for the sale. Not that they are hounding people, they simply keep asking. There's a huge difference between hounding and asking. You might say, "I don't want to be rude. I don't want to bother people." And you are right. You shouldn't be rude or bother people. But what if you're presenting an opportunity that would truly benefit that other person? If you're adding value to others, don't you owe it to them and to yourself to at least ask if they're interested? A few years ago, a friend who'd taken my seminars told me that the company she worked for really needed my help. She gave me a person to call at the company's headquarters, the head of convention services. When I told this person what my friend had said, she replied, "No thanks, we're all set, click." That was weird, I thought. Maybe I caught her on a bad day. So I called back a month or two later just to check in. "No thanks," same response. This actually happened a couple more times until I got a clue. I called my friend back and asked, "Are you sure I'm talking with the right person?" She gave me another name, this time a vice president who oversaw the company's regional conventions. I dialed, fully prepared to be shot down again. The VP asked me what I did. I said, "I show people how to get rid of their head trash." She asked me how my system worked. I told her about the results people were getting in a matter of weeks, even days. She said, "That sounds good. Let me have someone call you back." Yeah, right, I thought. The next day, I got into work and there was a message. "Noah, this is blank. I just spoke with our VP and we'd like you to speak on a cruise to Mexico for 2,000 of our international salespeople. We'll fly you first class to Los Angeles and you'll have to speak for a couple of hours. You can relax the rest of the 4-day cruise. Oh, and we're putting you in one of the master cabins on the ship and we'll pay for everything." Alrighty then. My point, if I had stopped at the first no, I wouldn't have flown first class and stayed in a master cabin on a cruise ship to Mexico and get paid to do what I love. However, I didn't keep asking the wrong person when that wasn't getting the result I wanted. Many teachers talk about how important it is to keep asking and be persistent, but the point they missed is that persistence is a behavior. As we learned in an earlier chapter, behavior cannot be created at the level of behavior. Therefore, to create the behavior of persistence, you must find your deeper why too. To gain the courage to ask, you must understand the value you bring to others. One reason our company has grown so quickly is because we're ridiculously clear about the value we bring to people. People who want that value come to us and tell their friends to buy from us, too. Here's what we do at successclinic.com. We teach people how to get their foot off the brake in their lives, careers, and relationships, and show them the steps to double their income in 90 days while working less. If you want that, come to us. If you don't want that, don't come to us. Now, it's one thing to go around saying stuff like that and quite another to prove it. We have unassailable proof that our system works. Not only do lots of famous people endorse our system, but regular people like you and me tell their personal stories of how they've doubled, tripled, even quintupled their incomes in less than 180 days because of what they learned from us. You can do this too. Present your value to others. Ask if they're interested, and if they say no, so what? You're no worse off than you were before you asked. You already didn't have the thing, right? So you haven't lost anything, have you? And who knows? Keep presenting your value to others, and one day the right person will say yes. People system third A equals accept. The third A in your people system is to accept. This is a very subtle but oh so powerful concept. When I first started teaching this system 10 years ago, I was teaching people to acknowledge and ask, but I felt like something was missing because people kept getting stuck at this level. Finally, I realized what was wrong. I saw that people were missing this powerful but subtle concept, which is to accept support from other people. It sounds bizarre, but many people can't accept the support that's right in front of their faces. Ironically, to accept support is actually a higher level than to ask for support, and I'll prove it to you. Think about a time when you had a birthday, anniversary, or holiday where you received gifts. Have you ever received a gift that was better than anything you asked for? Something better than anything you dared to ask for? When I ask this question in my seminars, nearly every hand goes up because this has happened to nearly everyone at least once. That's why to accept support really is a higher level than to ask for it. You can ask for something and still not let yourself receive it. Conversely, you may not ask for something and get it anyway. However, many people have a hard time accepting support, love, and encouragement from others. You may be unwittingly pushing support away. Of course, you don't mean to do this, but this is one of the jobs of your negative reflection, which tells you that you don't deserve to be supported anyway, so why bother? Sometimes you simply have to breathe to let others support you. There's no big secret to accepting support, but realize that this might be a big hidden block for you. Write in your secret code of success journal about this and stop pushing people's support away. People system fourth A equals accountability. Have you ever noticed that we'll do more for other people than we will for ourselves? Go to www.secretcodebook.com and watch the death crawl clip from Facing the Giants. What's so powerful about this clip is that Brock wouldn't have made the crawl on his own. He didn't want to let his coach or the other players down, and so he made it all the way across the field with a man on his back. Left to his own devices, do you really think Brock would have pushed himself that far? That's why when you are accountable to someone else, you will soon be pleasantly surprised to see that you can do far more than you knew you could. In traditional success programs, they told us, think about all the money you're going to make. Think about the new car. Think about how rich you'll be, and so on. They told us to visualize the things we'll have when we're successful, and told us that would motivate us to take action. So why didn't that work for most of us? We think we want things, but really, it's experiences we want. It's not the Ferrari we want. We want the feeling of specialness and importance we think the Ferrari will give us. It's not the mansion or yacht. It's the feeling of being rich. Sure, we all want nicer things like cars, houses, and our own island in the Caribbean. But after working with tens of thousands of people in my seminars and interviewing scores of multi-millionaire mega successes, I have found, ironically, that the two essential experiences we human beings want are significance and contribution. We want to feel significant to other people, and we want the feeling that we made a difference. Sure, we want $1 billion, and there's nothing wrong with having lots of money, but each of my multimillionaire friends have told me, without fail, that after the cars, the vacations, the private jets, they kept asking themselves, is this all there is? What significance do I have? Have I really made a difference on this earth? Therefore, rather than waiting until you're successful, start asking those questions now. When the money starts pouring in, you'll already have arrived. People system fifth, A equals affirm. Remember how I taught you about affirmations, the empowering questions that change your life? Well, here's where you can start to use them to create the life you really want. We've been taught to affirm what we want by saying affirmations. But I showed you in step 1, most of us don't believe these positive things we say. With affirmations, rather than bang your head against your own brain, you can simply use your mind to manifest the things you want twice as fast with half the effort. One of my students had spent a lot of time, money, and energy on every weight loss program out there, but she still couldn't lose the weight she wanted. After she heard me teach about affirmations, she realized that she was unconsciously asking herself disempowering questions like, why can't I lose weight? Why am I so fat? Why don't these work for me? Can you guess why she wasn't succeeding in what she wanted? After learning how to create empowering affirmations, she started asking, why do I lose weight so easily? She began using the 4 steps of the affirmations method I showed you in step 1. She didn't just ask the question, she gave herself to the question and took action. After about 60 days, she realized that she not only felt better, but her clothes fit better. She got on a scale and it showed that she had lost 20 pounds. But here's the amazing thing. She didn't believe it. Because she really hadn't worked hard or dieted or stressed about it, she couldn't see how she'd lost all that weight almost without effort. So she went to her mom's house and checked the scale there. It showed the same thing. She'd lost 20 pounds. Well, she thought, that scale must be broken too. Finally, she went to her doctor and got on a scale at the doctor's office because that scale had to be working. The scale at the doctor's confirmed what she herself didn't even believe. She had lost 20 pounds in 60 days without stress or dieting. What I think is so amazing about this story isn't even that she lost all that weight. The amazing part is that she didn't believe her own results because they had come too easily. How's that for manifesting? The moral of the story, don't affirm for the life you really want, and then let yourself enjoy it. Exercise. Installing the 5 A's of your people system. 1. Who do I need to acknowledge for their contribution to my life? 2. What actions can I take to acknowledge them today? 3. What actions can I take to acknowledge them consistently? 4. Assuming I'm not afraid of the answer, who would I ask for their support? 5. What can I do to accept the support of people who want me to succeed? Who can I be accountable to for my success? 7. What will happen if I don't feel accountable to someone for my success? 8. What are my top 10 affirmations I can use to install my people system? Your activity system. The next step of support is your activity system. This is how you spend the hours and days of your life. I know it sounds simple, but we live our lives in days. Not weeks, not months, not years, but days. If you feel out of control, if you have too much to do in too little time? There are two simple questions that can transform the days of your life and explode your personality productivity. Exercise. The two questions that can explode your productivity. Left side of paper, column A. What would I love to do more of? Activities that fill my tank. Right side of the paper, column B. What would I love to do less of? Activities that empty my tank. In column A, list your answers to what would I love to do more of. This is a list of activities that fill your tank. In column B, answer what would I love to do less. These are the activities that empty your tank. By the way, did you notice that you fill your tank and empty your tank are success cliches? You didn't think I was going to let myself get away with that, did you? By now, you should know that I'm here to bust traditional success cliches. We've heard these phrases a million times, but what does it really mean to fill your tank and empty your tank? Your 3 human resources. There are 3 resources or commodities that we can use as human beings. They are time, energy, and money. That's all we have on the earth. Of our 3 human resources, which do you think is the most valuable? Some people say energy is the most valuable because all things are energy. Your body, your computer, your coffee mug, anything you and I can touch in the universe is energy. All things are made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms, and atoms are energy. We learned in high school that energy is infinite. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed. It just is. Since energy is infinite, it can't be the most valuable commodity. What about money? Money is just a form of energy. The way money works is you have some and everyone else has all the rest. Since money is just a form of energy, money is also, for all intents and purposes, infinite. Therefore, money can't be the most valuable commodity either. The reason time is the most valuable human commodity is because it is the only resource that can never be replaced. All of Bill Gates' billions can't buy 1 minute of yesterday. Therefore, when we talk about how to fill your tank, we're talking about activities that give you more of your human resources of time, energy, and money. And when you empty your tank, it means activities that take away one or more of your 3 human resources. You may be thinking, but Noah, you just said that I can't get more time. So how can filling my tank mean I get more time? Good catch. The fact is, you can't get more time, but you can create either more productive time or more unproductive time. Productive time means doing activities that move you toward what you want. Unproductive time means you are either doing activities that do not move toward what you want or actually move you away from what you want. For example, you might say you want to lose weight, but you spend all of your time sitting on the couch eating potato chips and watching TV. You're not using your resources very productively now, are you? You can't stay the same because all things deteriorate here on earth. All things break down due to the physical law known as entropy. And that's why you're either moving towards something you want or you're not. That's productive or unproductive. That does not mean you should be working all the time. Productive time also includes taking goal-free zones, which we'll talk about in step 4. For now, I'd like you to fill out those 2 columns above. Many times in my seminars, when people do this step, they're blown away by how much time they're spending on activities that empty their tank. Gee, I wonder why they feel like a failure. Once you've filled out those columns, answer these questions. Exercise. Installing your activity system. 1. What excuses have I been giving for not doing the activities in column A? 2. When are those reasons, excuses, not valid? 3. What activities can I do from column B? Just get them over with. 4. What activities can I delete from column B? Just eliminate them. 5. What activities can I delegate from column B? Let somebody else do them, and to whom? 6. What actions will I take to more productively use my time, energy, and money so I can do more of what fills my tank and less of what empties it? Daily actions, weekly actions. Who will I be accountable to for reporting those activities? Column A includes activities that you'd love to do more of, activities that fill your tank. Most of us are saying, I can't. So tell me, why can't you? The reasons always boil down to, I don't have the time, the money, or the energy. Whom? Interesting that it always comes down to our use of our 3 human commodities. Look at the second question. When are those reasons, excuses, not valid? Notice that I keep using the word excuses. When are those reasons or excuses not valid? I don't have the time. You do have the time. Think about it. Nobody has more time or less time than you do. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and even Bill Gates hasn't figured out how to slow down the Earth's rotation, but I hear he's working on that. Next time you hear yourself saying, I don't have the time, I want you to realize that you just told a lie. It is a lie to say you don't have the time. If you say, I'm choosing not to do that, or that's not a priority for me right now, now you're telling the truth. Whether or not you choose consciously, you're making a choice. Your choice may be valid, or your negative reflection may cause it. You need to figure out which is true. For example, let's look at the excuse. I don't have the money. Actually, the truth is you do have the money, but you're choosing to allocate it for different things right now. For example, did you know that you could own a Rolls Royce right now? Let me show you. How to own a Rolls Royce right now. Let's say you own a house and you have a monthly mortgage payment. A monthly car payment for a Rolls Royce might be about the same amount as your monthly mortgage payment. That means you actually do have the money for a Rolls Royce right now. The problem is, of course, that if you choose the Rolls, you might not be able to pay your house payment too. So you have to live in your Rolls Royce. Probably not the best choice. The point is, you are allocating money right now for the things that you have determined are a priority, say food, clothing, and shelter. So even though many people don't believe me when I say this, you do have the money for most of the things on your list. The 3D way to increase productivity. In questions 3, 4, and 5, we see that there are 3 things you can do with the activities in column B. You can do them, delete them, or delegate them. What can I do? What can I delete? And what can I delegate? Those are the 3 Ds. Do, delete, or delegate. That we can do with anything that comes into our lives. In question 3, what activities can I do from column B? Just get them over with. These are what you want to do less of and just get rid of. I'm sick of thinking about it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to just get it over with. This might be bookkeeping, accounting, your newsletter, or any other of the other tedious to you activities, like swallowing your medicine or going to the dentist. Sometimes it's best to just get them over with. Question 4 is, what activities can I delete from column B? Just get rid of them. I'm not even going to do it. It's just not going to happen. Forget it. I want to take it off my plate. These are the things you want to delete. Now look at question 5. What activities can I delegate from column B, and to whom? This is the key to maximum success with minimum effort. The 3%ers have mastered the vital skill of delegation. If you want to truly increase your productivity, the most important D is to delegate. Why? Because that's where you start to multiply your effectiveness and gain leverage in your life. This is what happy rich people do. Happy rich people gain great leverage by delegating. Do you think Donald Trump goes around building all those big buildings? No. He goes around telling people, do this and this, in his weird New York accent. He is a master delegator. Now, I'm not saying we have to be like Donald Trump. Maybe for you, you need to delegate the laundry. I have found delegating to be the hardest step for most entrepreneurs because they either say, I don't have anyone to delegate to, or because they don't trust anyone to do things as well as they do. If that's your belief, you've just signed up for the Struggle Express. And question 6. List what actions you can do to more productively use your 3 human resources. List the daily and weekly actions you can take to make better uses of your time, money, and energy. Why should you make this list? So you can do more of what you want to do and less of what you don't want to do. The final question to install your activities system is, who will I be accountable to for reporting these activities? You may be accountable to your whole group or just to one other person. You might say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do, delete, and delegate at higher levels. If you catch me doing this, I want you to call me on it. Give your people permission to catch you not doing this. This is called positive peer pressure. Telling everybody that you're going to do something positive. If you fall short, everyone will see that, and you'll be embarrassed. Since no one wants to be embarrassed, that's a big why not to. You will take action. Ironically, with higher levels of accountability, you're actually doing less and having more. Remember, the goal is maximum wealth with minimum effort. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty good to me. Finally, the right tool. Over the last 40 years, we've been inundated with time management tools of every kind. From Post-its to planners to Palm Pilots, the market is flooded with tools and gizmos that have tried to help us become more productive. The problem with traditional time management tools, however, is this. They haven't made us much more productive, and they certainly haven't made our lives any easier. Think about it. Are you working less than you were 5 years ago or more? Are you spending less time doing email, answering messages, and trying to find information or more? Are you finding it easier to manage all the information coming at you, or are you working harder than ever just to keep up? The answer for most of us is, are you kidding? That's why we invented the Freedom Power Pack, a breakthrough in time management and productivity, because it not only looks at your life through the 5 essential systems of support, it also puts them in context within the 4 R's of your life. 1. The role in which you're working. 2. The result you want to achieve. 3. The resources you'll need to do them. 4. The relationships needed to provide any resources you don't have. It also includes what we need to do, why we need to do it, and how we'll pull it off. The Freedom Power Pack tracks all factors involved and helps to tell when we're on course and off course, and why and how to get back on track. You can learn how to get your own Freedom Power Pack in the additional resources section at the back of this book. Your environment system. Your 3rd system of support is your environment system. You live in 2 environments, your outer environment and your inner environment. Your outer environment consists of your home environment and work environment, while your inner environment consists of your emotional environment and your spiritual environment. Your quality of life. Your outer environment is the physical environment which can see and touch. You can't see your inner environment directly. You can only see the effects of it. Remember, the only two things that determine your quality of life are the quality of your communication with the world outside of you and the quality of your communication with the world inside of you. We live in two worlds. We experience our outer environment, but who's the experiencer? You. You experience the outer environment through the inner environment with your emotions, spirit, soul, and mind. Get out of your familiar zone. During my live seminars, I ask people, how many people feel that clutter is a problem in your life? About 75% of the hands go up. Why do we have such a problem with clutter? While I could give you a lot of surface answers, it always comes down to fear. Fear keeps us in our familiar zone. You've heard a million times that you need to get out of your comfort zone, but consider this. Let's say you're driving down the road of life with one foot on the brake. You're aware that you're holding yourself back and you don't like it. You wouldn't be reading this book if that weren't true. Now here's my question to you. Is that feeling comfortable? Is the feeling of going down the road of life with your foot on the brake comfortable? You and I both know that it isn't comfortable at all. In fact, it's decidedly uncomfortable. It is, however, familiar. When you look at that word familiar, what does that word look like to you? Right, family. Family is the root of the word familiar. Some people in my seminars say family liar. The point is, you don't need to break out of your comfort zone because your comfort zone doesn't exist. You need to break out of your familiar zone. You may be familiar with clutter. You may be familiar with holding yourself back. You may be familiar with stopping yourself from success. In fact, it's certain that you are, but you're probably not very comfortable. The purpose of this book and my teaching is to get you out of your familiar zone of pushing success away and get you familiar and finally comfortable with allowing yourself to succeed to your full potential. Clearing the clutter. I've always said that if I ever got into another business, it would be the self-storage business. Why? Because people are obsessed with buying stuff, and when there's too much stuff in the house, do they get rid of it? No, they get another storage unit. You can't even get the car in the garage. Your poor car has to sit outside because you've got so much stuff in the garage. If this sounds familiar to you, you're not only in good company, you're in the vast majority. Why do we need to get rid of clutter? The essential reason is that if you have physical or emotional clutter, meaning inner or outer clutter, it is very difficult for something better to come in. That is just another one of those laws of the universe. I didn't make this up, I just report the facts. Have you ever noticed that when you clear stuff out, you feel better? I know you've noticed this. After one of my students cleared the clutter from her outer environment and inner environment, she told me that her business doubled in just 3 weeks. Another one of my clients couldn't see the rug in her office because she had so much clutter. When she cleaned out the clutter, she told me she took out 17 garbage bags of clutter from her little office. Guess what? In 30 days, she made enough extra money in her business to replace the carpet that she couldn't see before. Clearing the clutter works. Just accept it and use it for your ultimate benefit. Exercise. Installing your environment system. 1. What are the biggest blocks in my home environment? 2. What are the biggest blocks in my work environment? 3. What are the biggest blocks in my emotional environment? 4. What are the biggest blocks in my spiritual environment? 5. What actions can I take this week to clear the clutter from my outer environment? 6. What actions can I take this week to clear the clutter from my inner environment? Environment system questions 1 and 2. What are the biggest blocks in my home and work environments? You can write down 10, 20, or more blocks. Be honest about what your biggest blocks are in your outer environment. In your home environment, it may be the squeaky door, the window that has to be replaced. The stairs are a problem. I can't get into my garage. Whatever your blocks are, and you know what they are, write them down. What about your work environment? I can't find my papers. I don't have the right software. I don't know where my computer is. I have an old computer and it doesn't work properly. And clutter doesn't just mean a bunch of junk. It might mean that you need tools you don't currently have. Would you expect to build a nice house with just a hammer, a screwdriver, and 2 nails? You need all the correct tools and materials to do the job. If you need a laptop, software, an assistant, a new phone, or any other tools, those could be some of the biggest roadblocks. Write what's missing that you know you need. Your head trash is going to say, I don't have the money. What else is new? Just write it down anyway. Environment Systems questions 3 and 4. What are the biggest blocks in my emotional and spiritual environments? The 2 biggest pieces of emotional clutter are fear and resentment. Fear is about the future. Resentment is about the past. A lot of people say we have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future. And you know what we're doing in our present? What are your biggest blocks in your emotional environment? Then, what are the biggest blocks in your spiritual environment? For most people, their biggest spiritual block is they don't believe that miracles can happen for them. They have lost their connection to God or something greater than themselves. They believe God has forsaken me because I've lost so much. I've done so many dumb things. God has forgotten about me. Just because you've lost something, you may have lost something or someone who was very, very special to you. That does not mean that God doesn't love you. We humans experience gain and loss, but to God, it's just what is. God can't lose anything, and God can't gain anything. How could the creator of this universe gain or lose anything? We humans experience gain and loss, and we just happen to like gain better. When things are good, we say, thank you, God. When we lose things, we say, God, why did you do that to me? God is complete and perfect unconditional love, no matter what we humans experience. We think our experiences determine God's love, but that's not how God looks at it. It's very difficult for us human beings to understand how God loves, because God is perfect unconditional love with a capital L. We humans can only love with conditional love, the lowercase l. I don't care how nice, sweet, and wonderful you are, you love conditionally. Every one of us have conditions on our love, but God doesn't. Can you see how this can be a huge block in your spiritual environment? That's why I want you to begin to believe that miracles can happen for you too, not just for other people. I want you to realize that not only can miracles occur for you, the fact is you are a miracle. Look around the universe. Look at the other planets, the solar system. Where else do you see life, let alone human life? This planet has it all. That's why we have to work very hard right now to protect it. Do you know what a miracle it is that life exists? If we could only carry that sense of awe with us all the time, you would experience and remember the miracle that life is. Okay, you've identified the blocks in your inner environment and outer environment. Now let's talk about the appropriate actions to clear the clutter. Environment System questions 5 and 6. What actions can I take to clear the clutter from my inner and outer environments this week? Many people ask me, Noah, which should I start with, the inner or the outer? I always tell them, start with the outer. I know that sounds counterintuitive because you say, but I want to feel better on the inside. Don't worry, you will. Your outer environment includes the things you can see and touch. In case you haven't noticed, your outer environment greatly affects your emotional and spiritual well-being. You can't find your papers. You're tripping over stuff. It's a mess. You have clutter. Isn't that frustrating? Darn right. Well, to be frustrated is a feeling, and feelings are caused by something. Therefore, when you remove the outer cause of the feeling, you will feel better. So go through that closet, go through your files, clear off your desk, and unload your inbox. Throw stuff away. You really don't need those bank records from 20 years ago. My father is like this. He's a huge pack rat. I've told him over and over, Dad, you really don't need those files from 1972. He doesn't want to let go. But I encourage him to toss them. And you know what? He always feels better afterward. Why he doesn't remember that remains a mystery. By the way, it's great to ask a friend to help you clear the clutter. Remember your people system? If you feel that you can't do it alone, ask a friend. Maybe it's one of your older kids who's been saying, Mom, Dad, when are you going to get rid of that junk? Or maybe it's your kid's house in neat. Maybe it's your kid's house is neat because of all their junk is at your house. Call them and say, Honey, I'm getting rid of your stuff on Sunday. Want to come over Saturday so you can take anything you still want? Don't feel that you have to do this alone. In fact, I highly suggest that you don't do it alone. Ask your loving mirrors at home and your safe havens at work for the support you need to succeed. Are you starting to get the order of this powerful system? One final thought. Your inner environment and outer environment are not static and unchanging. They are vibrant and dynamic. Just because you cleared the clutter this week doesn't mean you won't have to do it again next week. One of my college professors was a Buddhist monk who said, Half of life is cleaning. You eat dinner, you get dirty dishes, you clean them, you do it again tomorrow. That is called life. Your introspection system. To introspect means to look within. Why is that important? Simple. You need to determine whether your ladder of success is leaning against the wrong wall. You may be going after something you don't really want anymore, or you may be going in a direction that is counter to the place you want to end up. The world is a noisy place, and it's only getting noisier. When you walk in nature or go to the beach and you quietly look at the clouds, sand, trees, mountains, or water, have you ever noticed that you feel better? I'm not saying you have to go to the mountains or the beach every day. I'm saying that you need to install your introspection system in your life to allow you to check your internal and external progress daily. Exercise. Installing your introspection system. What actions can I do today that allow me to introspect? 2. When is it easiest for me to do them? 3. What successes did I have today? 4. What did I accomplish today that I'm proud of? 5. Am I going in the right direction? Is my company, team, career going in a direction I really want? 6. What actions can I do to get and keep us on track? Yes, I know you're busy. Yes, I know you've got a million things to do today. So what makes you think that not introspecting will make your day and your life any easier? Whether or not you like it, the 3%ers find the time to introspect daily, and they're just as busy as you are. They may not sit there and meditate, although many of them do, but they certainly have a system in place to ensure that they're going in the right direction. What needs to get done, gets done. Have you ever noticed that what needs to get done every day gets done? Let's say you're going through your day as usual when suddenly the phone rings. Someone says that your best friend is in the emergency room and you'd better get over there right away. Do you say, Sorry, I'm too busy? Or do you drop everything and rush to the ER? Now, was go to the hospital on your to-do list today? Of course not. But your why-tos of being with your best friend outweighed your why-not-tos, and you acted on your true priorities. You do not need or want to have an emergency to take care of something as important as yourself and your peace of mind. Most people are waiting for their lives to happen, then wondering why they're not happy or rich. If you don't install your introspection system, the crush of information and to-dos can overwhelm even the most peaceful of us. Daily introspective exercises can include journaling, meditating, prayer, reading sacred literature, walking in nature, gardening. These are all actions that are introspective because they allow you to look within and reconnect with your authentic self. What can you do that allows you to get back in touch with that still, small voice? That's your authentic self. Your introspection system will allow you to get back in touch with your intuition, higher self, or whatever you wish to call it. This is part of all of us. We've all had a hunch that turned out to be right. But how many times has the reverse happened? You do something, look back after the fact and say, I knew I shouldn't have done that. We've all done this. That's why we need to strengthen our connection to our authentic self so we can make better choices in the moment of decision. Acknowledge your successes. Just as you're going to start acknowledging others, your people system, guess what? You also need to acknowledge your own successes. Most of us do the exact opposite and beat ourselves up for what we didn't do. We look at our to-do list and say, oh, I didn't do that and I didn't do that. Instead, acknowledge the things you did. Humans are motivated by success, not failure. If you truly want to motivate yourself by what works, before you go to bed each night, acknowledge the things you did right that day. Yes, you did a lot of things right today. Write them down, think about them, and focus on them. What you focus on grows. Most of us beat ourselves up for what we did wrong. But if all you focus on is what you don't have, haven't done, and did wrong, guess what you'll get more of? Why not do what you're already doing, but use it for your own benefit instead of beating yourself up more? It's the little accomplishments that make a big difference. Acknowledge things you did, like, I made that tough phone call. I finished my newsletter. I followed up with that prospect. I organized that meeting. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your actions. You can't control whether somebody buys your stuff or whether you get the promotion or a million other things. But you can control what you do to influence those things and your response to what happens. And even if people say no, you can keep going because that's what successful people do. Your simplify system. When we look at the 4 preceding systems, people, activities, environment, and introspection, they lead to one natural logical conclusion, the need to simplify. As I said before, the world is a noisy place and getting noisier. We don't live in the information age. We live in the information overload age. There is simply too much information, too many interruptions, too many channels, too many emails. Ironically, we have too many choices in life. Our stress level goes up because now we have the added stress of having to make the right choice. I want you to write the following sentence in big letters and put it by your desk where you'll see it every day. Simplify your life. Streamline your business. Let's say you're driving down the highway and decide you want something to eat. You see the golden arches and pull into a McDonald's. You walk in and say you want a Big Mac. Does the 15-year-old behind the counter say, oh, hold on a second. How do we make a Big Mac again? Sure, people at the fast food chains mess up, but there is a system that is both streamlined and simple. How do we know it's simple and streamlined? Because the result is the same no matter where in the world you go. And because it's often the first job the people who work there have ever held. While you can argue the quality of food, it's hard to argue with the success of such a streamlined operation. Every successful company and organization has streamlined their systems. Conversely, the individuals, teams, departments, companies, and organizations who haven't streamlined their systems are not operating anywhere near full capacity or potential. You can do this for your life, and you can certainly do this in your business. And the place to start simplifying is the process of delegating. Exercise: installing your Simplify system. 1. What tasks am I doing now that would I like to delegate to someone else? 2. To whom would I like to delegate those tasks? 3. What is my win in the delegation? 4. What is their win? 5. What is the larger win? 6. What actions can I do to delegate today more than I did yesterday? You might say, but Noah, I don't have anyone to delegate to. Yes, I've only heard that one a billion times too. Well, for a long time, I didn't have anyone to delegate to either. For me, just getting through the 2,517 emails I get per day was a huge time-sucking activity, and it was emptying my tank. Once I identified my win, their win, and the larger win, I was finally able to delegate that task, and my productivity went through the roof. Win times win times win equals win to the third power. You've heard of the concept of win-win, which means I win and you win, or mutual benefit. But there's another higher level of negotiation, which I call win cubed. Win to the third power. Win to the third power. Win cubed equals win times win times win. It means I win, you win, and the world wins. True leaders don't just focus on their win and the other person's win, but also the win for the world. Have you ever noticed that people will do more and more willingly when they believe they're contributing to a larger cause, a greater good, or something bigger than themselves? You've seen this in your own life and in the lives of people around you. Why do you volunteer for things? Why do you donate to important causes? It's because you want to feel that you're contributing to something larger. Remember that feeling of contribution and significance I talked about? While you might not believe it, you can do this in your own business, in your own life. The people who I work with at the Success Clinic know that we are involved in something that's much bigger than any one of us, because of our work allows us to contribute to the lives of countless numbers of people around the world. My job as founder of the company is to communicate that vision to the people who work with me, because they won't get that by osmosis or mind reading. You, as the leader of your team, department, or organization, can do the same thing. You can communicate the larger win to the people you work with and to whom you delegate, because the more everyone understands the bigger win, the more energy they will give to everything they do. For example, the mission of the clinic's success is one sentence long. It reads, "We're creating a nation in a world of loving mirrors." If you're excited about that, we want you on board. If not, you're not the right person for our team. If you're saying, well, I just want a paycheck, then frankly, you won't be happy on our team. There's nothing wrong with wanting to collect a paycheck and go home. It's just that our team is comprised of people who are psyched about touching millions of lives and raising the consciousness of the earth. If you want to be more successful, you need to communicate your vision with similar clarity. I win, you win, the world wins. Using my example of something as simple as email, I knew what task I wanted to delegate. Simplify question 1. The problem was I didn't have anyone to delegate that task to. Simplify question 2. I knew my win would be that I'd get back many hours of my day I'd been spending on useless emails. Simplify question 3. It felt like hours of my day were being taken from me. In addition, I felt exhausted and angry after trying to get through all those emails. I know you understand this. We're all faced with tasks that drain our time and energy. So my win was obvious and clear. Then I determined their win. Simplify question 4. Even though I didn't have anyone at the time, I simply realized that with the task of email, my new assistant's win, whoever she was, would be she'd get paid. Even before I found her, I determined that in receiving a good salary, she'd win. Second, since I wouldn't have to read all that junk email, I would genuinely appreciate her. I remember that most people will do more for appreciation than for money, although in this case she'd get both. Finally, I identified the larger win. Simplify question 5. Because my new assistant would be contributing to helping me be more productive and happier. She would also know that we're now able to help more people and make a larger difference in the world. Therefore, when I delegate a task as seemingly innocuous as email, my time is freed, she gets the feeling of significance and contribution, and the world as a whole wins. While you may think all this sounds rather grandiose, it works nonetheless. As a leader, you must communicate all 3 wins to yourself and to your team. It's not other people's responsibility to determine their win or the larger win. Rich, happy people communicate all 3 wins, whether or not they realize it. That's why they have so much of what the rest of the world wants. You don't have to be a great public speaker or orator, but if you want to enjoy maximum wealth for minimum effort, you must understand and effectively communicate the 3 wins, not just to others, but also to yourself. True wealth is much more than getting a bigger paycheck. While it's fine to want and get more money, true wealth means helping more people, touching more lives, and improving the world. That's why simplifying your life and streamlining your business and installing all 5 essential systems of support will enable you to enjoy more wealth and happiness with far less effort. A quick recap. 1. There are 5 essential supports of system that must operate properly for you to enjoy more wealth and happiness. Just like your house and your body, if these systems aren't functioning optimally, you won't be very happy with the results. 2. The 5 systems of support are people, activities, environment, introspection, and simplify. If one or more of these systems is not operating optimally, your success and peace of mind will be quite limited. 3. Your people system consists of your ability to acknowledge, ask, accept, have, accountability, and affirm. 4. Your activity systems means doing more of what fills your tank and less of what empties it. 5. Your environment system means clearing the clutter from your inner and outer environment. 6. Your introspection system means doing daily exercises such as meditation, prayer, or journaling that keep you on track toward what you really want. 7. Your simplify system means to simplify your life and streamline your business. Simplifying and streamlining are the hallmarks of a true wealthy person and highly successful business. When you install the 5 essential systems of support at optimal levels in your life and your business, you'll enjoy more wealth and happiness using less time, money, and effort than ever before. Next actions. List 3 things you can do from this chapter in the next 7 days to install the 5 systems of support in your life and business. 1, 2, 3. Top 10 affirmations for step 3. 1. Why do I have so much support in my life? 2. Why are leaders so magnetized to me? 3. Why do I take responsibility for doing things that fill my tank? 4. Why do I use my energy so effectively? 5. Why do I love throwing away that no longer fit who I really am? 6. Why do I enjoy keeping my outer environment clean? 7. Why do I love keeping my inner environment clear? 8. Why do I listen to my intuition when making big decisions? 9. Why do I take responsibility for simplifying my life? 10. Why do I enjoy simplifying my life and streamlining my business?